Elon Musk reveals new warp drive Starship in 2022. A warp drive is a fictitious spacecraft propulsion engine that allows a starship to travel faster than light. In this video, we'll discuss the concept of a starship with a warp drive. A starship won't have to travel faster than light inside a local reference frame. It would traverse distances by compressing space in front of it and expanding space behind it. This will result in faster-than-light travel. Make sure you stay till the end to know why a warp drive starship will help in interplanetary travel. NASA's concepts of a warp drive. Andromeda, which is our nearest large galaxy, is around 2.5 million light-years away. Even if humanity could ever build a ship that could travel faster than light, it will be very tough to travel and reach there. Harold White, a NASA scientist and the lead of the Advanced Propulsion team, was in charge of NASA's attempts to see if a warp drive could be developed. A model for a starship was created that resembled the Enterprise from Star Trek. He performed an interferometer experiment and intended to measure at nanoscale. The data confused scientists, and they stated that whenever they saw a volatile reading, the difference was produced by some factors. The possibility of warp bubbles is not affected by the failures in the experiment. Scientists may be unable to detect them. However, if a warp bubble can develop, a lot of work is required to use it for space travel. The capacity to travel at 1% of the speed of light would allow us to explore and colonize the solar system. And 10% light speed would make exploration and colonization of Mars even easier. Can Elon Musk, the founder of SpaceX and Tesla, invent a warp drive? An astronomer named Neil deGrasse Tyson appears to believe so. He emphasized him to focus on inventing a warp drive like the ones shown in Star Trek, to thrust spacecraft across galaxies. But Musk can't transform SpaceX and Tesla into side enterprises and stated that he'll stick to his core businesses. Hardships to reach Mars. The conditions on Mars are similar to Earth as far as temperature and sunshine are concerned. The surface is not habitable to humans due to radiation, reduced air pressure, and atmosphere with barely 16% oxygen. Water is a basic necessity for humans, and they should perish in a couple of days if deprived of it. Mars will be a difficult place for humans, and various technologies were created to help in interplanetary travel and might be used for Mars colonization. There are extreme side effects for the human body and should be minimized by increasing doses of radiation. The gravity on Mars may impact human health and weaken bones and muscles. Another possibility is osteoporosis and cardiovascular issues. The International Space Station now rotates humans in zero gravity for 6 months, which is the same as a one-way trip to Mars. The International Space Station now rotates humans in zero gravity for 6 months, which is the same as a one-way trip to Mars. The researchers get a better understanding of the physical state of astronauts when they'll be on a mission to Mars. The gravity on Mars is just 38% of Earth. Microgravity affects the cardiovascular and musculoskeletal central nerve systems. Mars has a thin atmosphere which allows a large quantity of ionizing radiation to reach it. The conclusion to all of these problems is to shorten travel times in spaceships. The warp drives or a similar piece of technology will deliver that in spades. Do you know that Musk wants to send an astronaut to Mars in 5 years? He wants to send an astronaut in 2026 and is striving to put humans on Mars by 2031, which is exactly 2 years earlier than NASA's best plan. If you've made it this far in the video, we would like to thank you. You can extend your support by subscribing to the channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss any of the content we upload. Coming back to the video, Climax. Musk thinks that humans can become interplanetary. Musk is planning to move 1 million people from Earth to Mars, and he wants to do it in a short time. As far as the cost is concerned, tons of money won't take you to Mars. You need the right technology to travel to Mars, like the Starship. Space travel is expensive and rocket launches are costly because they can only be used once. Musk pointed the use of rockets as ridiculous. It's like buying a new car and every time you want to go somewhere, you simply can't. Because you would need a new car almost every time. Most people can't afford it. Space travel has a similar concept, and only the rich can afford it. Musk wants to reduce the price to go to Mars that will ensure an established city there. However, only SpaceX can reduce the cost, because they have a reusable rocket, the Falcon 9. It isn't reusable as a whole, as only the booster of the rocket lands back and the upper stage is worn off, which costs around $10 million at every launch. The upper part increases the launch cost to $15 and $20 million. However, with a reusable spacecraft like the Starship, the cost can be reduced by a factor of 100. Musk wants to reduce the trip to Mars to a month or even less. This is where a very powerful spacecraft that moves fast is required, and Musk will ultimately develop a Starship. It can travel faster than the speed of light. The closest star, Proxima Centauri, is around 17,076,000 light-years from the Earth. The Starship with a warp drive will reach it in less than 4 years. Musk has to deal with a lot of problems related to the Mars project. Volunteers can even return to the Earth if they change their minds. A warp drive Starship will create a massive difference in interplanetary travel. What do you think of the warp drive Starship? Leave your response in the comment section. See you in the next video.